Turning our attention now to the international newspapers. Depicted is back on set for that, and Depicted going to start again with a look at the Israeli elections, and exit polls there suggest it's going to be a long drawn-out battle to secure a majority in parliament.
That's right, and that's really what's dominating the Israeli papers today. Benny Gantz's Blue and White Party has a slight lead over the incumbent leader Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing party Likud. For the Jerusalem Post, it's an election stalemate. The secular nationalist party, Israel Beitenu, has picked up 8 to 10 seats, showing, I quote, that leader Avigdor Lieberman remains the kingmaker in this convoluted political landscape. A bit of cautious optimism from the center-left paper Haaretz, which says maybe, just maybe, the age of Netanyahu has come to an end. The paper really expressing hope that the, quote, unimaginable may have happened, that Israel stood at the edge of a religious nationalist abyss and at the very last moment took a step back. The paper conceding, though, it won't take much for Netanyahu's party to come back in, to swing back into the victory territory. So we have to wait and see.
Of course, Israel heading to the elections twice in 1 year, and a similar thing is about to happen across in Spain.
That's right. What are the odds? Spain has now called an election for the second time this year. Their election to be set in November. Like Israel, Spain's political parties could not form a deal, could not strike a deal to form a coalition after the first election this year. That was 142 days ago, as ABC, which is a conservative Spanish daily, wryly notes on its front page there. It's the fourth time actually that Spaniards will be heading to the voting stations in as many years. For the Catalan paper La Vanguardia, it's clear that the inefficiency of the political parties in Spain has resulted in this repetition of elections. For his part, Spanish leader Pedro Sanchez has urged voters to speak more clearly, he said, come November, and increase his party, the Socialist majority, to break the deadlock. Worth noting that Spain's political situation has been complicated in recent years by the independence movement in Catalonia, but also the rise of the far right at the last election. That's the Vox party.
Well, let's hop across to Italy, and they've had their coalition issues in recent week. And today, French President Emmanuel Macron is heading over to Rome to meet with the new government.
That's right, and he'll be happy to be meeting with a more friendly government, you might say, because his dealings with the former Interior Minister Matteo Salvini have been less than cordial. Let's say, it even resulted in some very public, ugly spats between the two leaders. So Emmanuel Macron heading to Rome today to meet the new government, minus Salvini, and will be led by Giuseppe Conte. Le Temps, the Swiss paper there, saying that Macron is on a mission. That mission is reconciliation. And you see here Chapat, the cartoonist, depicting Macron as his Jupiter alter ego, a god of French mythology. Macron will be meeting that new government. The Huffington Post saying, please try to hide your joy when you meet this new government. That does not include, once again, Matteo Salvini.
Have to keep a close eye on his expressions then as that meeting happens. Across in the United States, meanwhile, Swedish climate change activist Greta Thunberg has been lecturing Congress.
That's right, and I love the way Vox puts it on their article today, that she's used her superpower of shaming adults on Senate Democrats. Greta Thunberg telling U.S. lawmakers that she and other climate activists aren't interested in being called heroes or getting praise or being called inspirational. She said they want to get the job done. And for Vox, actually, it's also, quote, proof of a riveting dynamic in climate politics right now. At least in the case of the U.S., Democrats have their hands tied by the Republicans when it comes to decision making. And in a way, the adults are now looking to the teen activists to sort of make some progress when it comes to climate politics.
Yeah, get a new momentum going. And of course, there's that global march set for Friday. But The Guardian, meanwhile, is paying tribute to 6 climate change whistleblowers in its edition today.
That's right. Whistleblowers in the U.S., 6 whistleblowers and ex-government scientists who were silenced or muzzled by the Trump administration. For instance, one talks about producing groundbreaking data on greenhouse gas standards under Barack Obama, only for Trump to come into power and freeze all of that research into air pollution, flooding of national parks, and water quality data was also suppressed. Reports were drastically altered, and these whistleblowers were even told to look for new work. So this is sort of the climate in which they were working. It's well worth a read, that article, actually. Meanwhile, in Norway, there's a new photo exhibition called Making a Difference Through Photography that starts today, highlighting the very real effects of climate change and pollution. Here You have a plastic covering a jellyfish. That's a picture by the ocean conservation group Oceana. You also have another picture from the same group. It's rather heartbreaking in the Netherlands. It's a crab. You can see they're trapped by fishing nets. Really proof, if ever we needed it, of the impact of human destruction on natural habitats.
Yeah, indeed. I think we do have that proof now. But meanwhile, there is one environmental problem that one local politician in the US is willing to fight against. It's pigeon poop.
That's right. That battle took an ironic turn this week because this Illinois politician was giving a televised interview about the issues involved in cleaning up a train station in Illinois that's notorious for pigeon poop, only for a pigeon to actually poop on him. Talk about situational irony, right? As this article notes, so there was no visible evidence of that poop, prompting some to believe that the pigeons were just sending a warning shot ahead of what both sides know will be an inevitable war that will be fought poop and nail.
Okay, Diptyka, thanks a lot for that wrap-up of the international papers. Time for a very quick break now, but we're back with all the latest updates in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.